request from my sister-in-law. She loves to go to music festivals and things like that. So she was like, what kind of makeup look can I do? And she actually is an artist herself, so I was like, girl, you got this. But it was a good idea, so I figured I would come up with a little something different, a little funky. The skin has layers, creams, and powders so that it lasts a long time throughout the heat, but it's not heavy layers, it's very light layers. You can always take whatever you want from this tutorial and leave whatever you don't want. We've got a little bit of glitter, we've got some soft rose gold, we've got silver and gold. We've got a lot going on. So I hope that you enjoy. Don't forget to subscribe if you are new. We would love to have you, my Cake Face family. If you're returning, thank you for coming back. Without further ado, let's get started. I've already prepped and primed my skin. Use whatever primers are perfect for your skin type. I happen to use the Dr. Jart Tiger Grass Color Correcting Treatment. This is awesome for festival makeup because you're going to be outside in the sun, sweating, and this allows you to wear less foundation because you're already kind of taking care of all of the discoloration, or at least if your issue is redness like mine, then I can wear less foundation and look more natural when I'm outside and not worry about it all sweating off my face too fast. So it also has SPF 30, which is perfect for that being outside in the sun whole deal. And then I also used my Physicians Formula Argan Oil with Coconut Water Primer. This is just because my skin is very dry. If you're oily, use what's appropriate for that. Also primed my eyes using my NYX Proof It Eye Primer, and I used some pore refining primer right around my nose because I have large pores, and I used my Maybelline Baby Skin Primer for that. I'm going to take 1 pump of my Marc Jacobs Dewy Skin Drops, those coconut drops that I did a review on. Check out the review if you're interested. And I'm going to mix it with a pump of my Milani Conceal and Perfect foundation, and then I'm going to take my Wet n Wild foundation in Porcelain. If you have a foundation you know lasts a long time on your skin, go ahead and use that. But I've been testing these out. I love the longevity of this Milani foundation and the coverage. The coverage is amazing. I'm going to go ahead and dab this on my cheeks. We don't want to put too much, so I'm just taking a little bit at a time. It's really important not to put too much for a festival makeup look. So what I recommend is doing a higher coverage foundation and putting less, as opposed to a lighter coverage foundation and putting more. I'm using my Beauty Blender, and the reason I'm going for the Beauty Blender today is because we're focusing on long wear natural coverage. So the Beauty Blender is going to take away excess from your skin and just leave you with the perfect amount of product on your skin so that you're not overdosed. So I actually used my e.l.f. lip scrub just to prep the lips, kind of make them nice and smooth. And then I went in with my Josie Maran lip balm that I love. I'm taking my NARS Matte Concealer. I have it in the shade Vanilla underneath the eyes. Not going to take too much, but just wherever you need a little bit more coverage, go ahead and add a high coverage concealer. And I'm just going to blend that in with my Beauty Blender. Quickly, before I set this with powder, I'm taking a little bit more of my Marc Jacobs Dewdrops. And I'm going to blend this into my hand a little bit before I dab it onto the skin, just because if you go in right away with a big glob, it can be harder to blend out. So I'm dabbing that on with my finger and then blending it out once again with my sponge. With whatever's left, I want to take it up above my brow a little bit, bring it down my nose. Do you see that shine? Next is cream contouring. So I'm going to take my Maybelline Fit Me Concealer. I have it in the shade Deep for this purpose. I'm going to draw a line under my cheekbone, under my lip, a little on my jawline, curved under the tip of my nose, and up the side of my nose, bringing it underneath the brow. If you like to do your forehead, do that as well. I'm going to take a little bit into my Cupid's bow. And then with the Beauty Blender, I bet you didn't see that coming. I blend all that out. The great thing about using a cream contour is that once you set it with a powder, it's gonna last a really long time on the skin. And this is why it's so important that we didn't put too much foundation on, because we're doing layers. And it all adds up, like going to Starbucks every day. It adds up. So I'm just carefully blending out those little areas by sort of pinching the Beauty Blender and dabbing. I don't want to move it around too much, I just want to dab it in. So do you see how I'm starting to be nice and sculpted? Now for powder. So if you are oily combination, I definitely recommend bringing a little powder with you. I'm gonna lightly set with powder. You could definitely use the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Setting Powder. That one is amazing for just locking everything in there. But for me, I tend to look a little dry with it, so I'm gonna take a combination of setting powders that work for my skin. I'm taking the IT Cosmetics Bye Bye Pores Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm using this right around the nose where I have large porous skin. This right around those areas, dab that on my lid because I crease there like crazy. If you want proof, look at my last video. Oh my gosh, the creasing on my eyes was driving me insane. But when I filmed that video, I had been wearing my makeup for many hours. So, a little tea break. I'm going to take for underneath the eyes, Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Finish powder. So this is a pricey powder, but it's so well worth it, especially if you're dry, because you can put this stuff on and not worry about it looking cray-cray. It's one of those great touching up powders too. So if you did want to bring a powder with you, like if you use the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Setting Powder first when you're at home, and then you want something to take with you, you could just throw this in your bag and touch up because it's not cakey. Looking gorgeous, honey. So this is where we're at. We have a really nice glowy yet matte skin complexion. I'm going to take my favorite bronzer. This is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. You can use whatever bronzer works with your skin. So now for the magic highlight. We're going with the NARS highlighting palette I showed in my haul video. So this you can use wet and dry. We're going to use a both. First dry, I'm using the fan brush from e.l.f. Taking the middle shade, which is the most golden, and we're kind of gonna drench ourselves. So feel free to dust this everywhere. It's nice and subtle, so you don't have to worry about going overboard yet. I'm going to take the rose gold shade. We're going to hit up the cheeks. So right underneath that other shade and sort of above the contouring. Now for the really over the top highlighting. This is the Milani Make It Dewy Setting Spray. I'm going to spray my brush with this. Then we're going with the brightest shade. Just dip it right in there, don't be shy. Just place this right at the highest points of the cheeks. That just sets the highlight on fire. Lit, lit, lit. Just doing the very tip. And the Cupid's bow. We're looking lit. At this point, you can take that Milani and drench yourself. Drench yourself. I'm taking my Marc Jacobs Fine Wine pencil for the eyes, and I'm going to put this in the waterline. It's a beautiful deep burgundy. Can look a little bit sickly, so we're going to be careful as well as that upper lash line. I'm using my MAC pencil brush, the 219, and I'm going to smudge this out. Like I said, we're going for long wearing makeup, so we're layering creams and powders. You can always use a Q-tip for this step. Now we're going in with the rose gold. I'm using my MAC 221, and I'm going to start to layer this over that burgundy shade right on top on the lid. Now I'm taking more of the bronzer on this brush, and we put this right in this outer portion of the crease. We're going to take a bigger brush. This one is from Sephora. It's the 27. I'm going to lightly blend everything out. Everything's really subtle because we're using face products. But that's kind of what we're going for. We're going for like a continuation of the face bronziness onto the eyes. Before we continue on with the craziness, I'm going to take some mascara, YSL Mini of the Shock mascara. Ooh, the brush is interesting. I'm not sure if I'm going to like it. It's kind of messy. And it looks wet. But we'll see, we'll see. With something like a festival, I don't mind messy mascara. Could look really kind of edgy and cool. Some people hate that. But I personally really like that for concerts and things. Especially when the rest of your makeup is really nice and clean. Could be nice to have a couple coats of thickly applied mascara. You guys, look at my lashes. So this is dramatic. It's very dramatic, especially this first application, which already tends to be kind of wetter in general when you first apply a mascara. But this loaded it on. If you're not a fan of clumpy mascara, messy mascara, this isn't for you. But I kind of love it for this look. It's kind of bomb. I'm taking my Sephora 21 brush, which is just a lash comb. Brush out some of those clumps. I asked for drama, and boy, did I get it. Falsies are gonna look crazy with this mascara because they'll look so different in texture. This is like a textured mascara. If you're looking for soft and wispy, this is not for you. Wow, that was one coat. Look at me. I'm just adding more. What the heck? It's like I can't stop myself. I see myself doing this and I can't stop. Somebody needs to institutionalize me. Taking out my Makeup Forever Flash palette, which clearly is well loved and very, very messy. We are going to kind of dive right in here. I picked up two brushes. This one is an art brush, like a painting brush. It's very thin. And then this is the e.l.f. Small Smudge Brush. So starting with silver, just going to dip right in there with the liner brush. You can always take a pigment or powdered eyeshadow, something like that. Use a little bit of Durline or, you know, use that. But I'm going to use this. It's like a face paint, cream pigment. So pray for me because I'm going to be trying to do symmetry. We shall see. I'm kind of wanting to go for a triangular geometric shape. So following where I normally would put highlight, I'm creating a line from my hairline. I changed my mind about using the e.l.f. brush for this next one. Instead, I'm going to use the MAC 212 because it's flat and straight, and I feel like that's going to help me create the next line. So I'm going to go in with the gold, gilded gold. We don't want any clumps on the brush because that's going to mess with our line. So I'm going to go from the corner of the eye out straight across. And I'm taking it right across that silver I'm going to take the gold and follow the line across the eye. So as if it was continuing on through the eye, it would land here, based off of the angle that I created. So I would just follow whatever you did. Okay, I'm officially regretting using this brush for this part. So I'm going to switch, take this other e.l.f. brush, because the eye nose area is so curved. It was not working. And now the area where the lashes should be gold, like intersect with the gold line, I'm going to kind of dust this onto the lashes and into that waterline. Doesn't have to be precise because it's like the line is disrupted. Not completely gone, but almost deconstructed right there. Don't forget to be cleaning off your brushes once in a while and starting fresh to keep the line clean. I'm squaring off the tip, the very ends of the lines. And then I'm going to go in with some dots. So I'm going to use the end of the e.l.f. brush into the silver. Now I'm just placing the dots wherever I want. Do a couple of little dashes. I'm going to take this pigment from Wet n Wild called Ride on My Copper. So I'm going to use this on top of the gold. Stila Smoldering Satin, and I'm going to put this over the dots. So I'm just lightly setting everything with a powder. Okay, and then for the lips, I'm going to take my Wet n Wild gel lip liner in the shade Bear to Comment. Now I'm going to spritz myself like crazy with a long wearing setting spray. This one is the Skindinavia Bridal Finishing Spray. We want to keep this sucker on. Oh my gosh, my nose has been running. For the rose gold elements, I'm going to take Golden Rose from Natasha Denona. You can use any rose gold shade you have. With this Sephora 27 eyeshadow brush, I'm going to bring that right into the inner corner and right onto the lid. I'm going to take a little bit onto the lip, just right at the center. And I'm going to brush this right, starting from back here. Down. Okay, so this is the final look. I really hope that you enjoyed this festival inspired makeup tutorial. I had a lot of fun making it for you. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe, join my Cakebase family. We would love to have you, and press that bell for all notifications from my channel as well. Don't forget to leave a big thumbs up if you did enjoy this video, and I will catch you in my next one. Bye, loves.